Hey everybody, it is Thursday, October 25th, and I apologize for the focus in and out. It's probably because I'm moving around. Anyway, something I'm going to be doing, I've done a few of these vlogs, video logs, whatever you cool kids call it. I've done a few of these, but I'm going to start doing them regularly. One, because I feel like I've got something to say, and two, I think there's some things that, you know, a lot of people out there in lifting and strength land might enjoy hearing about or listening to. And maybe, you know, what I always enjoy is if it sparks some conversation or debate, and I always welcome that. You don't always have to agree, you know, but if you don't, I'd love to hear from you. And if you do dig it, or if there's something that you want to talk about or hear about, then let me know. I'm going to try to keep these in the 10 to 15 minute area. It just gets to be too long, and, you know, anyway. Quick shout out to some people that have supported all of us at the Ogre Compound, Team Ogre. SBD, Pete and Zach, thanks for all you've done. Rogue, you know, they did an incredible piece on Jennifer, and both companies, SBD and Rogue, and they didn't have to, really represented the gym and even myself, you know, very well. And, you know, to be clear, that was always about, you know, Jennifer's journey, and so I'm happy with how everything turned out for Jennifer, and, you know, blessed that we were even a part of it, so that's really cool. Carl Lenore, Superhuman Radio, he's an old buddy of mine. We go way back, and, you know, he's shared a bunch of this stuff, you know, on the show and, you know, in conversations. Barbell Voodoo, Roy and I go back a long way, long before he ever got involved in this. He was actually a young man and a very young power lifter. NutriShop Mount Juliet, I'm going to do a vlog sometime soon. I've got to get with those guys about, you know, what we want to do, what we want to cover. It has just been so busy of late that I've not been able to pull any of that off. So I know I'm leaving some people out, and as I do these, I'll make sure to, you know, mention them just in the forefront of my mind. Three quick things I want to cover. I want to talk about Jennifer's Nationals and just kind of some of the things that went on, not at the meet, so to speak, just things. I'm going to talk about a new lifter we have, Brittany, and then just mention Melissa, and I'll get into why. But first, we recently got back from 2018 USA Powerlifting Classic Raw Nationals. Incredible meet. To date, the biggest meet that I've ever been part of. 4 platforms. I don't remember the full schedule. I want to say they had lifters starting Wednesday and went through Sunday. I could be wrong. I know I was there with Aaron with Serena RV, but I want to say that was Wednesday night, Thursday night. I have no idea. Thursday night. Anyway, a lot of lifting and a job well done, you know, just by everybody. There were just so many volunteers and so many people. Things ran pretty smoothly. It was just crazy at how many people. But anyway, Jennifer certainly announced that she is a contender in the 63. And this is what I will say about the future. I can promise you she's going to work hard. And the next time that the 63s lock horns, she will be better. Now, am I predicting anything? Yes, I am predicting that Jennifer will improve, and hopefully Aaron and I do our job equally as well, and we improve, and the three of us improve as a team, and do the very best that we can, and ultimately that Jennifer does the best she can, and then the chips fall where they may. Super exciting meet, and I think this bears saying. You know, Jennifer Thompson multi-time champion. And a couple of years ago, had to have surgery. That's been documented. But, as a master lifter, and I've been where she's at, where you're, that, hey, the clock is ticking. And to her credit, man, just digs in and surprised me. I didn't expect her to hit her last squat, and based on what her opening deadlift looked like, I didn't believe the third pull would go either. And just like she always does, no matter what something on the front end looks like, and ultimately it's never about where you start, it's about where you finish. And she's just the consummate champion, and continued kudos to her. And I can promise you, I believe she ain't going anywhere. And I think the very next opportunity, she'll be locking horns with these young ladies, and it's going to be interesting. Hats off to Sam Calhoun, to be so close, a couple of times, and what a super strong lifter. Great game plan, hats off to Matt Gary, Susie, her soon-to-be husband, who all of a sudden his name escapes me, and I apologize for that, but it was interesting. Sam and Jennifer shared a platform in the warm-up room. This wasn't anything against Jen Thompson or anything. It's just Matt and I work really, really well together, and it was super easy for us to take care of both of them. And the girls stayed to themselves and did their thing, and to their credit, all three went out there and put it on the line. And what a joy for me to see Jennifer. The biggest thing is what I've loved to have seen her win, and I was calling it, to try to put her in that position. I knew, that it would take the pull of her life, and, she came close. I mean, just a little bit more, but that's how it goes. But you see three lifters putting it on the line, and as 63s, they're all right there at 500 plus. It's insanity. And there's some young talent coming, and there's people in other weight classes that have been in the 63s. Be interesting to see if they make a decision to come back. But that class is going to be stacked for some time. And so, I'm looking forward to, as stressful as it was, and my heart raced, it was just such a fun meet, such a cool thing to see those lifters, just put it on the line and give everything they had. What a show. And that's what powerlifting needs. We need things where they need to be rivals. That doesn't mean that they don't like each other, or they can't share a platform, or they can't high-five each other, because I promise you, they're all friendly, they're all cool with each other, but they want to win, and justifiably so. And why shouldn't they? Why shouldn't they be that way? But again, my hat's off to all of them. Congratulations to all of them. Super congrats to Sam, and way for Jen Thompson to represent us master lifters. I think Shorty's going to have her time, and we're going to work hard to see about that happening. I want to mention Brittany, a new lifter. She's been training with us for a couple of weeks, and I'm building to something here, and I'm going to get to it. And this isn't just about female lifters. It's just I'm trying to keep this as short as I can, and these are the three most immediate that I'm going to talk about. A lot of times when I have new lifters and they want to be good, they want to work hard, they go to the trouble, and the expense of hiring a coach, so clearly, and Brittany and her husband, and kudos to them, they're doing this together. The goal appears to be doing Swole Mates, the USA powerlifting meet in February here in Tennessee, and so be checking that out. But something that they share a passion for. Both of them have a passion for dogs, and that immediately makes them friends with Melissa and I. But one of the things that I find with some lifters, not all, is they're very controlled and they're very polite, if you will. And that's a conversation I've had with Brittany, learning how to be dynamic, learning, how to be tight, and to kind of not be uncontrolled, but don't let your control be a hindrance, so to speak. And so I've had this conversation with both Melissa, a few lifters, but I had this specifically with Brittany recently. And, I said, if I gave you a coloring book, would you tell me how you would color? And I think she knew what I was working towards. And she told me very specifically, that she would color inside the lines very carefully. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with your personality being somewhat conservative or somewhat controlled. None of those things, and I don't want to diminish any of that. But what I tried to explain to her with lifting, it's not unlike art. To truly reveal yourself and your true potential, art a lot of times is outside the lines, like when you use a non-traditional color, whatever. You colored the orange sun purple and you gave it some aqua blue sun lines. It's whatever your interpretation is, but it reveals whatever your mood is, whatever you're impassioned about, and that's my job as a coach is to help you realize those things. And so it's interesting for a new lifter, to attach something, because we've had a couple of conversations, an email conversation or two, and to kind of give her an idea of what I'm looking for, to give her some mental and even emotional cues, to the point that she even said it elicited an emotional response. Is that weakness? No. It means that she's very receptive. I think it means that she sees the vision, and I think it goes along the lines of what she's looking for. And so she's got a hashtag now, color outside the lines. And I'm going to tell you why that brings me joy, but I'm going to get back to that. Melissa is the last one I'll mention, and I'm going to tell you why. One is take the gym away, and she's so important to me, and I'm not going to go into a bunch of sappy stuff, but she did a great thing when she totaled the lead this year. It was something that she had worked so hard for and had been, lots of long sessions and tears and frustration and disappointment. And to come through, and hit that elite, you can see in the video that we took where when she gets the lift, that she, the way she jumps. Melissa is her own bird, man. And I got nothing but love for that. Yeah, sure, there's times where that's a challenge, but that's life, so is my job, so is a lot of stuff that I do in my life. But it's just one of those cool moments. And then you fast forward to Strongman Nationals, and I really believe, and I think Melissa believes, I know for a fact she believes, that she had a shot at winning this year, and in the car deadlift was injured, and that's part of the game, and that's part of what happens, and it kept her from winning. She had a good showing, and excuse me, and gritted it out even when she didn't want to. But that's not the story. The story is she was like, I'm retiring, I'm not going to compete anymore, and she doesn't have to compete for me, certainly, and if Melissa doesn't want to compete, then by all means, she shouldn't. But I just felt like she wasn't done. I felt like there were some things that she wanted to do, but she was hurt, and it really hurt. I know it hurt, and it scared her, and that's fine. Fear is not a terrible thing. When fear becomes an issue is when fear is the driving force. And I think you saw that in the snippet, the teaser, if you will, in the SBD video with Jennifer. Fear has a way of dictating for a lot of us, what our thought processes are, what our game plan is going to be. And I get it. I have to deal with it all the time myself. Are people going to respond to me in the manner that I hope? Am I going to be able to make a good showing? Am I going to be able to reach, these lifters, whatever the case may be, and so it's something that is constantly there, and you got to make a choice. Are you going to let that dictate, or will you embrace it, and will it energize you? And so for Melissa, what we're seeing is now she's talking to me about doing a powerlifting meet. She's kind of gotten fired up. Jennifer Perrier trains at Osmond Manzanares' gym, Nashville Weightlifting Club, and she comes on Fridays and squats with us to work on certain things, and it's been a really, really good thing for Jennifer. But Jennifer and Melissa are pretty good friends, and Jennifer's really encouraging her to do some Olympic lifting meets, and I think Melissa may be doing it. If that's what she wants to do, that's what she should do. What I never want her to do, and why I'm bringing it all up, is I never want fear to be the deciding factor. If Melissa wants to be done with competing, I want it to be because Melissa feels like I've done all I can do. I'm good with where I'm at. I'm going to work out and be fit because that's what she does. And I'm going to fly fish, or whatever the case may be. I just have a feeling that, she'll do something no matter what. But I really strongly felt like, and pushed, even to the point that it caused some arguments, about her still having some goals for herself. And as she started to, see some numbers creep up and get stronger and feel better and not hurt so much, you're starting to see, that come full circle. So why bring all this up? Well, excuse me, Jennifer in so many words challenged me. I said we were having one of our many conversations that we typically have almost on a daily basis. And it's not always about lifting, it could be about beer or something like that, or the kids, or whatever the case may be. Mostly lifting, but, we have a relationship outside of the gym. And I have always said you got to write, you got to blog, you got to podcast, you got to put yourself out there, and she's been, in the past, has been resistant for one reason or another. I don't want to speak for her. If she wants to talk about it, she can. But she knows I want to talk about it. And so she kind of, in so many words, to make a long story short, challenged me and said that I wouldn't do this vlog. But I wanted to share you. She has a saying, if she likes something or doesn't like something, this is my jam, or it's not my jam, And I am a very, very impassioned lifter, coach, just person in general. I get all jacked up about what we do in the gym. And because I feel like the gym is a microcosm of the world. And I'm sure any athlete or any endeavor, you can see, the connection. And I've often said the skill set that you acquire and that's required to do strength really well will help you in other facets of your life. And I'm all about empowering people, and it's not just women, just people, and I love the pursuit of strength. More than the meets, I love the preparation. I'm that guy. I love to see the things that take place in training and the things that people learn, regardless of their skill set, whether it be someone like Jennifer, who's a world champion, or Melissa, who's well-versed in multiple sports, or Brittany, I love dogs and I like powdered donuts and I want to get strong, And the beauty of it all for me is the manner in which they do it. And I love seeing someone do something that they once thought was not only improbable, but likely impossible. I've got a million stories, and I'm not going to go into them, and I said that this would be shorter, but this is going to be about 20 minutes, 21 minutes, and I apologize. But when I see someone like Jennifer go for it and she reveals who she really is on that platform, or I see someone like a Brittany that's like, I'm going to make the commitment to do this. Her and her husband, drive It's not a short distance, and they do it really early in the morning. And she's committed, and she's working hard, and she's trying hard, and she's soaking it all up. Or you see someone like Melissa who comes back from an injury and is kind of becoming re-energized. Those are the things I eat that up. I love that, and Jennifer said I'm always all jacked up after a meet. Yeah, because I'm ready to get back to work and see what happens next, And but I've learned over time. My only regret with my career is twofold. I wish I'd have tried to bench 500 pounds raw when I was really strong. I think I could have done it, but I just never tried to. Not that that's a big deal. I did what I did. But I wish that I had taken more time to enjoy the meets. Once the meet was over, the results are the results. We all know that, if we're going to, continue to compete, that we're going to be back to the drawing board and try to improve. But I just would always focus on, I missed these lifts. My day wasn't perfect, and like it, was feeding starving children or curing cancer or anything. At the end of the day, we're strength athletes, and that's what we do. But it's not who we are. It doesn't define who we are. Our measure is what we do, the manner in which we do it. Are we attacking it, with passion and energy and being driven, and you can apply that to anything, any facet of your life to be successful, and more just to have some joy and to be happy. And that's why I do this. And I'm going to get into more of that. I want to thank real quick before I go the Aplift guys. They've got a great story, and I can't wait for them to tell that and look, go to aplift.com and download that app. And if you want to coach, there's a lot of good coaches, me included, and check it out. And hopefully you like these, and there will be more of these, and I'll try to condense them. I'm not really good at that yet, but there's lots of good stuff. I'm so appreciative and blessed to have the little gym that we have and train at, and to have a team abroad all over the planet that believe in what we teach and what we do. So I'm super pumped for what is to come, and super excited for everybody that wants to be part of it. So everybody be happy. Go out there and make a difference. Smile at somebody, shake a hand, give a hug. Just act like you're glad to see somebody, and be positive. Let's make a difference by loving one another. All right, guys. Cheers. Have a good day.